the American State Department has announced that the American government will not allow countries sponsoring terrorism, patting the back of terrorists, granting amnesty to terrorists, encouraging terrorists like that of Nigeria, where terrorists come in form of herdsmen, ravaging from the Middle Belt down to the South. It is on record that the activities of this Fulani terrorist is even higher than the ones that are stationed in Sambisa forest. So the American government say, no, we are not allowing sale of weapons any longer. According to CNN, the American state spokesman Mike Pompeo had announced that a license of acquiring military equipment by countries sponsoring terrorism will be withdrawn. Meanwhile, the American state spokesman Mike Pompeo announced that the Nigerian government has been kept on watch list over the mass killings of Christians. Buhari himself said it that he met with Donald Trump, and when they were alone, Donald Trump looked at him right there, face to face, squarely, and said, "Why are you killing Christians?" He wasn't asking, why is it happening in your country? Who is killing who? He said, why are you killing Christians? Because he has been briefed that Buhari is a Muslim. He has been briefed that Buhari is the president. He has been briefed about the attitude of Buhari towards the killing of Christians. He has been briefed about his lackadaisical attitude. He has been briefed about him being a Fulani and many of this. So he asked him directly, why are you killing Christians? And Buhari said he was shocked and he couldn't bounce back from such a question. It was too direct. It was too deep. It was too searching. And that he had to just look for a way to answer the question by coming up with some stories and some rhetorics and saying, well, the Christians, blah, 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 and blah, it's farmer and herdsman clash. And what kind of nonsense is this? What farmer and herdsman clash? How can I have a land paid for, owned by me, and someone brings his own cattle from somewhere that I do not know, and the cattle comes into my place, and they claim that there is an open grazing law that allows people to graze? This is what we are talking about. Many of the people back then, the military generals, were from the north of Nigeria. They created constitutions. They came in with fiat. They did a lot, and they allowed this to continue with impunity. And now you know what is going on. We still have the same recycled people, and we have their children who come in the form of civilians with the same ideology. And at the end of the day, people said, all right, if things are this way, what is the stress all about? Why don't you go your way so you can have the whole of Sambisa forest to eat what you want? Why don't you go your way and face the people who say they need an Islamic caliphate? After all, they say they have the Sharia law in the north, they want this. It's okay. No one is worried about that. You can have your northern caliphate, have your Islamic caliphate. You can have all that you want there. You have the Sambisa, reserve. You can have all the space there. After all, there are still some green grasses there. And if they don't have green grasses, they can find a way, to create all of this among themselves and live there in peace and allow the rest to follow their own destiny. But that's not the case. Well, responses straight all of this. Idiotic statement said someone government killing Christians. That's the latest propaganda. So Muslims are not being killed. Hypocritical Trump. When United States killed all the Muslims in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, and a host of other Islamic nations who questioned them, they bombed and killed with impunity. Now it's Nigerian government that is killing Christians. That's a lie. It's just hate speech generated out of the Nigerian propaganda. Well, that's the problem. That's what I'm talking about. You see, when people have, when you are in a nation where the rule of law is not upheld and it is more religious bigotry and stuff like that, you will find people fighting for their religion rather than fighting for humanity. You see people fighting for tribe rather than fighting for their next brother, even if they don't speak the same language. Look at this statement. Yes, it is true that certain things happened in the Middle East and the United States of America, politics and wickedness and a lot of things. They've done a lot of terrible things there. But what I need to point out to you also is that right there in those countries, they also have their problems. They fight each other. That's the problem. They fight each other. Is it easy for you to bring in weapons into the United Kingdom, for example, and begin to give weapons to some people that ask them to fight each other easily? No, because they've come to grabs. They've come to grab. They've come to understanding of themselves. They've come to grab understanding properly to know that, no, look, it's about humanity. How can I begin to They have problems too there, but it doesn't get to the level as you see in the Middle East, where one Catholic ethnic group is against the other, one tribe is against each other, and they will talk about the feud that the battle has been there from their great-great-grand ancestors and all of that. These are the problems. So look at what this one is saying here. Yes, Christians are being killed. Go to Jos, go to Kaduna, go to Benue. These things are happening. The regions that are targeted are the parts that you find Christians. It is true. We cannot hide from this. I'm not saying that Muslims are not being killed. I'm not saying that. Muslims are also being killed by the terrorists in the north of Nigeria. Muslims or people who live in the north, we can't even say they are Muslims. They live in the north. They're also being killed because they are not probably cooperating with the vampires. These things also do happen. Someone say, I am in love with the United States these days. The way they are taking good control of our education system, please put more ban on those corrupt individuals, no matter who and any means they use to destroy the nation. Someone said the church as Osibanjo, but is focused on what to go on with at the end of his tenure. It's sad also that Osibanjo is not even speaking also about this. It's a terrible one. Someone said it's only Muslims here that are saying Christians are not being killed because they can't see. What offense has Christians committed? And if we Christians decide to take arms now all over the world like they do, they think freedom of moving from one place to another can be guaranteed. If you keep pushing a man to the wall, soon he will turn around and strike back. Nigeria is ranked among the most terrorized countries in the world, so it won't come as any surprise if the United States of America decides to change their stand on Nigeria at this time. It has also proven that Christians are being killed. In fact, the mother of Leah Sharibu, the young lady that got kidnapped, and they claim they kept her there, and now they forced her, raped her, and she's pregnant with a child of one of the terrorists. This young lady, they said she refused to accept Islam, refused to denounce Christianity, and the mom went down to the United States to meet with Donald Trump and said, look, this is happening. This one is the Christian. These people are oppressing this person. That's why they need to find a way to disintegrate that contraption, that British experiment. It's terrible. It is terrible. It's time for them to bring it to an end. It's time for them to step in, since the players there are not mature enough and they are not ready to come together and discuss and say, look, all right, since we have our differences and we cannot come to power, we cannot come to an understanding, why don't we all go our separate ways? This will resolve this religious extremism. It will resolve this, done this constitution. It will resolve a lot of things. Yes, there won't be any need for one Fulani. There are ways to resolve all of these things. I'm telling you, very easy. That's just it. But since they cannot, I think the British that started it should come in back, but they will not, because they are never for progress or for the good of any African country unless they have something to suck.